Financial services companies globally face intense and mounting pressure to demonstrate regulatory compliance. Ariadne, partnering with Thornton, provides a technology solution to this challenge through a management tool that visually represents and evidences the often complex relationships between regulations, processes and organisational responsibilities, present, past and future.
As we rush around our daily lives, we're bombarded with information. Walk now, no right turn, wait. But they're made easier to understand by colour.
Colour coding allows us to make sense of large amounts of information, to subdivide it and to make it more digestible. And this is especially useful in compliance, which is text heavy, and there's a lot of it.
Okay, so what we have here is what you see invariably when you start one of the Ariadne processes. Green, red, blue. Organisation, regulation and process.
Charles Brewer talks me through the Ariadne compliance software. The colour coding and visual approach make it easy to understand, and it's also a record of evidence.
It's a system which captures the essential aspects of a business. Because everything is time-stamped, we can do a forensic reconstruction of the past. So if you had a problem in 2017 and the regulator comes in 2019, they can say, well, what were you doing on so-and-so date? You put in the date, it will show you exactly what was being done, and it will show you exact proof that it was being done.
One company that uses the Ariadne software is stockbroker TJM.
Historically, managing the compliance function was quite a laborious task, and it was, it was hands-on and blood and sweat. I think with the Ariadne system, it becomes slightly more intuitive and much easier to interrogate the whole business at any time to see what's happening.
What the dashboard then allows us to do is say, of that particular landscape.
Nearby at Thornton, one of the world's leading networks of independent audit, tax and advisory firms, they've entered into a collaborative partnership with Ariadne based on a shared belief in the power of presenting regulatory compliance in a visual way.
Sometimes just providing a few simple diagrams, a few simple bar charts that basically take a large body of regulation, break it down into sizable chunks so that I can say, right, which, for say MiFID II, is going to be the biggest area that's going to impact on me. We time and time again find that the people we present this to immediately latch onto, I can understand that.
For time-poor businesses, regulation technology, or RegTech, is part of the process to rebuild trust in financial services.
That's the opportunity now with using technology, is you're not relying on human error so much, particularly where you've got repeatable processes. If you can use technology, then with the additional sort of insight from human beings to say, and so what does this help us to pay attention to, then you can really make sure that compliance and regulation is achieving its end goal.
Technology is an aid, but I think fundamentally the tone from the top, how people work and how people act, I think is even more a challenge, and instilling that through, choosing people correctly, training them correctly, developing people in a manner that sees the customer at the heart of a business in a long-term partnership is really important. And I think financial services needs to demonstrate that even more.
For a long period of time, it was viewed that compliance was just the role and responsibility of the compliance officer or the money laundering reporting officer or the lawyer or the general counsel within the firm. And I've always said, and Thornton absolutely believes, that the role of compliance is not an individual role. Compliance should be ingrained in everybody.
We know that essentially regulation is not about fining people or banning people or whatever. What it is about is getting good behaviour, because actually the aim of the thing is to go to the principles which the FCA has, which are about treating customers fairly. That's the #1 driver in regulation, and we believe that Ariadne helps people to do that.
As the sun sets on another day in the city, the complexity of regulation compliance is being made easier by Ariadne RegTech and Thornton through technology, colour and the expertise of the professionals involved.